Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So we are going to be watching Topwoog, the Canadian Wonder, do a 4-minute and 20-second T3, 200 density. The mods are actually great. Someone might think Burning Souls is a bad mod, and it's not that it's... What's the way to put it? I would argue it's actually a good mod, barring one situation. If they're ever aura stacked, like usually one aura isn't enough with in-game gear, and I'm assuming he's running a Wisp, there would kind of be no reason he's not. But with in-game gear, you know, your capped light res and one Wisp, then even one aura on a Burning Soul pack really shouldn't affect you too much. But if they happen to be aura stacked, you'll start to notice the damage adding up, and you know, you never know what can happen with basically 5 lightnings that are affected by weapon damage coming straight at you, and you know, you could die. But I think for any softcore player, you should basically look at Burning Souls as being a positive mod, especially when it reaches your lightning res cap, and then a little more so even if you have a Wisp at that point, in which case don't even worry about it, be happy. The other mods are all really good. Technically there is some add poison skill damage, so if he actually gets poisoned, which it doesn't look like he is, but if he does get poisoned, that'll be a little obnoxious. Of course he's going to be running bone armor. It looks like he is max energy or most energy. We'll look at his stat distribution at the end. 1,200 health is quite a bit, but I believe he's having, you know, like all 40 plus life skillers, so it's not out of the question. And bone armor is just really, really good. With 125 SCR, which is what he's running, you'll be able to cast bone armor at any point. It'll only waste 9 frames, and although yes, technically you're wasting 9 frames, you're never going to have to, or I'm sorry, not never, you'll have to worry about hit recovery a lot less. And that's because bone armor will take that damage away, and elemental damage, to be honest, does not often incur hit recovery. Of course, there are exceptions like Aura Stacked Burning Souls, and maybe a few map bosses. Cold Enchanted blowing right on top of you might still proc hit recovery at 1,200 health. The skills look pretty simple. He's got a few points in revives and a few points in the golems. I'm not quite sure why he went a little half and half. I would just go, you know, 1 point golem for an iron golem, but maybe he just wants a couple of Uduars for a little more CC, and he's actually planning on going more into golems. I thought Topwoog wasn't a fan of Blood Golem anymore, but maybe he is. Anyways, Blood Golems are pretty good. You will actually get some health back on them. I am not a fan anymore, but it's definitely like a player preference sort of thing. And also, if you have some more Golem Mastery besides your Iron Golem being a little tankier, you can also run a Clay Golem every once in a while too for, you know, random cold splash, right, slow movement that is on them. His play is not the best, but my play hasn't been the best either this beta. You know, I haven't played Necromancer last season. You didn't play Poison Necromancer last season, or, you know, a lot of Necromancer. And so it's pretty good. The one thing I'll point out is that you will be seeing him double casting or sometimes even casting Desecrate. And the reason is there are mobs with high enough poison res or high enough health that Poison Nova would no longer be able to easily one-shot them. Now, there is a caveat here. Poison Nova has been buffed quite a bit. But I believe with traditional in-game gear, let's not say min-max, most maps you'll have to use a Desecrate on some mob types. For instance, those will be the maggots in this one, not the normals, but the champs and elites. And for other maps like Siege Beasts are notorious for having super, super high health, even in lower tiers, Crushers or Abominables, etc. So how I would suggest the play is is just double cast Poison Nova, but if you want to be faster, technically if you do run into a really high health mob and you want to go for more clear, then yes, switch to Desecrate. But I would honestly say it takes quite a bit more skill and patience because, you know, you're not going to actually get every cast off, and when you're not getting every cast off, worrying every additional cast you worry about makes it harder to play. And if you've played this game, you'll know what I mean. The last thing I'll talk about is the Merc he's actually using as a physical Merc. Now, the physical Merc seems really good when she uses Magic Arrow, but she seems pretty bad when she just runs or does Strafe. And it seems like, you know, half the time she uses Magic Arrow and she actually accomplishes something. The reason that we're using physical is because she's the best at proccing. We have the Ice Rune Word on her, which is a pretty good option instead of Doom. And also, it actually procs some cold abilities as well, which is really cool. So his gear is super good. He wanted to point out right there that Razor Tail is the only thing you need to reach 100 Pierce, or technically almost 100 Pierce, so really don't worry about it. And she almost needs no IAS to reach her max frame rates for IAS. D-Web has him buffed. They can now roll +3 skills. Again, very solid gear, okay, guys? So remember, you're still going to need really good gear to run this, but it's going to be much more accessible for your average player to actually run this. And for one, T1, T2, and T3, we might be able to one-shot with what? Holy Shock Merc. And hopefully Topwoog runs that once before beta is over. And that way we can actually see if the Holy Shock Merc is enough to consistently one Poison Nova mobs. All right, guys, Skill King out for now. GG.
Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Daddy.